How's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news, and I got yet another Bethesda Game Studios related discovery for you all today because I just found something that is indicative of one of two things. But the situation does require a little bit of that speculation salt, so go ahead and get yours ready for today's video. But as always, we're going to be breaking all of this down together, that way you can have all the links and stuff to verify all of this information for yourself if you choose to, and that way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And we're going to start today's adventure right here at the most recent list of Bethesda Game Studios job listings. Of course, while job listings aren't nearly as exciting as leaked Starfield images, they still do offer a unique sneak peek into the secretive inner workings of Bethesda Game Studios, because recent job listings will no doubt give us some sort of indication as to what Bethesda Game Studios is currently focusing on or what they're doing behind closed doors. And the topic of today's video is this job listing right here for an outsourced art coordinator, and this is for Bethesda Game Studios in Rockville, Maryland. And this is more interesting than it may seem for reasons I'll get into in just a few minutes, but first let's break down this job posting over at the official ZeniMax career website. You can see this is the same exact job posting that's over here, and let's go ahead and read the overview real quick, that way we can kind of have a better understanding of what this exact job posting is for. It says Bethesda Game Studios is looking for a talented outsource art coordinator to join its embedded outsourcing team. This is an art generalist position requiring hands-on direction, management, and engine integration of a range of assets including characters, weapons, and environments. The ideal candidate would have strong art direction and leadership skills to be able to manage, art direct, and provide detailed feedback to external art vendors. They must also be an experienced and flexible artist, able to build block out models, do paint and sculpt overs, put final touches on textures and models, and implement final art assets. Finally, they coordinate with production and art leads to build relationships and help identify art needs. Now this is interesting because you can see right here, this person basically works for Bethesda Game Studios and hires an external studio or team to do the artwork and design for things in games such as characters, weapons, and environments. And this is something Bethesda Game Studios has done before, because if you look over here at the developer credits for Fallout 76, Bethesda Game Studios' most recent game, they indeed did outsource some of their art as well. But this is also kind of contradictive to what Bethesda Game Studios has said in the past, because if we go over to Escapist magazine over here, this is an article from 2018, but it still is relevant to today because Bethesda Game Studios operates on a much longer wavelength of time than we do, judging by how long it takes for their games to come out. But it says right here that Todd Howard was talking about outsourcing to other studios, and in this specific context, he was asked about if they would potentially allow Obsidian to develop another Fallout game, like Bethesda allowed them to do with Fallout New Vegas. And Todd Howard said he wouldn't say never, but their company is so big now that they would prefer to keep stuff internal. It becomes far less likely the larger their company grows for them to actually outsource anything. But he could just be referring to outsourcing in terms of allowing another studio to completely make a game and not actually like outsourcing art assets or stuff like that. Because I mean, Bethesda Game Studios has already shown us recently with Fallout 76 that they do still outsource some of their art assets and other stuff. And like I covered in yesterday's video, Bethesda Game Studios actually outsourced help on the technical level for upgrading their next-gen engine and getting optimized as much as possible for Bethesda's next-generation RPGs. However, there is one interesting thing that this could mean, because I've heard this several times in the past, but I wasn't able to find any evidence that actually supports this. But a lot of people and the general consensus amongst the Bethesda community is that Bethesda Game Studios completely outsourced their Skyrim remasters and other remasters like that. I can't particularly think of any other remasters other than Skyrim, but if this is true, then Bethesda Game Studios could be outsourcing again for yet another remaster based upon this job listing. But that is completely speculation because, like I've shown you in this video, Bethesda Game Studios has proven that they do outsource artwork and stuff for even their most recent games like Fallout 76. So this job posting could very well just be another repeat situation where Bethesda Game Studios is outsourcing some of their art and character design and stuff like that for Starfield, or in this case, most likely The Elder Scrolls 6, seeing how Starfield is probably basically done on the development side of things right now and is in the bug testing phase. But I wasn't able to find any evidence that actually said that Bethesda Game Studios did indeed outsource the Skyrim remasters to a completely different studio. But if that is true, then it's equally as likely for Bethesda Game Studios to have some sort of remaster going on behind the scenes, outsourced to a completely different studio. But as to what I think about this personally, I tend to lean more towards the fact that this job listing is just simply Bethesda Game Studios outsourcing their art direction for The Elder Scrolls 6 or some other game to another studio. I don't think it's a sign that another remaster is on the way, but it is, I guess, technically possible, even though it's a lot less likely. But I will say it is weird for Bethesda Game Studios to be outsourcing anything at all, because over the last couple of years they've been growing substantially. They have so many studios all over the world now that I've lost track of them all. There's Bethesda Game Studios in Rockville, Maryland, of course, Bethesda Game Studios in Austin, Bethesda Game Studios in Montreal, Bethesda Game Studios in Russia somewhere. They have a Middle Eastern location. They have locations all over the place, and they don't actually say what all of these different locations are doing. So for Bethesda Game Studios to outsource anything at all to a different company would be strange in my opinion, because they are so large now that they should be able to have more than enough internal manpower to accomplish any sort of task they would need, whether it be a complete remaster of a game or just simply needing additional assistance when it comes to artwork or technical stuff or things like that. I can totally understand though what I covered in yesterday's video, where Bethesda Game Studios actually reached out to a completely different company to outsource assistance to optimize and upgrade their game engine, because that makes sense. The Forge and Confetti are experts at what they do with game engines, and reaching out to someone with such a strong technical skill like that makes more sense than needing additional help with art assets, because I'm sure Bethesda Game Studios has plenty of artists in their gigantic game development empire that they have by now. However, that's just me kind of speculating on something I don't completely know everything about. I don't work at Bethesda Game Studios. I don't exactly know how many artists or stuff they have on deck. All I know is what I know from my personal experience and what I can kind of infer based on educated guesses and speculation. But basically the TL Doctor is that Bethesda Game Studios is outsourcing art design for weapons, characters, and environments, and this could be indicative of a possible remaster in development right now, which I think is less likely. Or what I think is actually happening is that they're just outsourcing assistance for help with The Elder Scrolls 6 or one of their future projects. But like I said at the beginning of this video was a bit more speculative than most of the stuff I've been covering lately. Thankfully, we kind of broke the dry spell and had some real information and stuff to break down related to Starfield and Bethesda Game Studios, but I still felt like this video was interesting enough to bring it all to your attention today. But either way, that's gonna finish up today's video. As always, what I want to know is, what do you think about all of this? Let me know down in the comments below what you think this job posting is most likely for, and if you like the content, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest uploads. You can also share the video to help the channel out a lot, and as always, this video was brought to you by the following amazing people. If you want to get a video shout out like this, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Bethesda Game Studios outsources somebody to go door to door and force everybody to buy Skyrim again. Basically, Bethesda Game Studios is hiring the Mafia to strong-arm everyone into buying Skyrim at least 10 times per person. Don't make Todd Howard use the Black Sacrament. You better buy Skyrim again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
It just works.